it's CrossFit Games week. We know who the contenders are on the men's side, but who are some athletes that can surprise us and make it to the top 10, make it to the top 5, and really throw a monkey wrench into the competition itself. So, got some 4 men to run through that have some top 10, top 5 potential within the field there. So, first up, we got Chandler Smith. So, we look at Chandler Smith, didn't qualify for the games last year. Goes to the Can West Games, wins against other 2023 Games athletes, James Sprague, Jack Farlow, demo team athlete Mitchell Stevenson. So wins that competition, goes to Rogue as a qualifier in October, finishes second. So if you ask me then, is Chandler Smith going to finish in the top 10 games? Yeah, absolutely. But then kind of fast forward to this season, breaks his wrist before quarterfinals, and now everything is a bit up in the air. Qualifies for semifinals, I think 12th, 5th, 13th in North America West. Makes it to the final heat, finishes 6th in the West semifinal there, and then has an overall worldwide semifinal finish of 20th. So again, just as his wrist heals, certainly based off of performance at Rogue, has that top 10 potential. You know, he's been top 10 before in 2020. He finishes 6th, goes back in 2021, finishes on the wrong side of the cut line 2020 or in 21st. So hopefully we see Chandler Smith on Sunday. And again, if everything heals up or has been healing well with his wrist, just some more training under his belt, definitely has the opportunity to push him back up into the top 10 at the CrossFit Games. Second guy taking a look at here, Cole Grayshaver. So made it as a rookie last year to the CrossFit Games, finishes 33rd. So seems like a big jump to go from 33rd at the Games to last year to a top 10 this year. But just looking at his progression over the offseason and so far this season, do you think there's a realistic chance that he does make that leap? So 2023 Wadapalooza finishes 5th. So he's ahead of, Dallin Pepper, ahead of Nick Matthew, ahead of Henrik Haapalainen, all Games athletes that we're going to see this year. Goes into North America West semifinal, finishes 4th, so ahead of Justin Medeiros, ahead of Nick Matthew again, ahead of Cole Sager. So a lot of these guys that we're talking about in that 10th to 20th range, Grayshaver has finished ahead of there. And on a worldwide level, finishes 11th. So it would be a big jump again to go from 33rd to top 10, but just seeing his progression as an athlete over the past year, it's definitely a realistic possibility, especially given, that kind of clump of athletes between 12th and 20th are kind of just the same every year. He could be that breakout athlete this year. Third up, we got Sam Cornier. So he's returning back to the individual field after finishing 1st with Mayhem Freedom last year. But going into last season, he looked like to be on the verge of finishing top 10 last year. So within the 2021 Games, finishes 23rd, has had a bit of a yo-yo time at the CrossFit Games. Did have the 10th, the online version in 2020, but a 35th in 2019. So back again, 2021 CrossFit Games, finishes 21st, goes into Wadapalooza, finishes 3rd at 2022 Wadapalooza, but then decides to go team with Rich and just kind of training with that group full-time last year. So it is going to be interesting to see how he transitions back from a team into an individual competition. Had a good start to the season, finishing 3rd in worldwide quarterfinals. At the East semifinal, finishes 5th, which was good enough for 10th worldwide, so definitely on track for that. But just when you look at his finishes at the East semifinal, he wins Amanda within that competition, but the other 6 event finishes he has are kind of a pedestrian. They're all kind of 7th to 13th, which was good enough for the East semifinal, but just when you bring in the best from the world into a single competition, it will be interesting to see if he can rise to the level of competition. Obviously, has the potential to make the top 10 as we've seen through this competition, but it will be kind of up in the air to see how that transition back to the individual field goes. Last athlete we're going to take a look at today, Jay Crouch. So finished 28th at the Games last year, 22nd in 2021. So probably a big leap for him to make it to the top 10. Probably 10 to 15th is a likely landing spot for him, just given his progression if he is able to excel at the Games for a third time in person. Just going back, he won the 2023 Torium Pro, kind of similar to a Justin Medeiros, where he just is always right up there. Doesn't win a lot of events, but just finds a way to get it done and finish top 3, top 5, and everything. But Torium Pro did have a good enough finish for 15th on the worldwide leaderboard at semifinals, 25th at a worldwide quarterfinal levels. So he did come over relatively early to the U.S. to start training and training with the proven team as he got acclimatized in the U.S. So that games training being with a proven team that has the ability to finish top 5, has obviously Shane Orr and a lot of perennial games athletes training in that group. So again, with another year of experience under his belt and just with that type of training program, could be seeing him making a big leap up into his first top 20, seeing him on Sunday for the first time at the CrossFit Games. And with that, thanks for watching. If you did enjoy this, click like, hit subscribe so you don't miss the other content that we're going to be putting out on YouTube and your favorite podcast platform over the upcoming weeks. As well, if you want some bite-sized stats on the CrossFit Games and the world of CrossFit, make sure to follow us on Fran Lung Analytics on Instagram. Just some quick doses of stats to keep you going through the CrossFit Games.